Hey everybody, and welcome to the Uncarved block number 6 review. For those of you who are new, I usually take about, I don't know, sometimes a half an hour, but anywhere up to from a half an hour to up to 4 hours. And we'll use my own content or uncopyrighted material to create a brand new track of various quality. But doing that, I'm trying to go through and live stream as much of the process as I think makes sense and won't bore people to tears, but just showing how to go through, make a track, kind of flesh it out, and talk through some of the decisions I make as I'm going through the process. So if you're interested and want to take some material that is uncopyrighted and make your own music out of it, whether you want to flip something, try your hand at doing a remix or anything else, feel free to join my Discord server. And if you'd like to help support it, any support's greatly appreciated. I have a Patreon and a Discord server where you can sign up for some subscriptions. I'm trying to keep it pretty cheap and give some extra additional access to project files or other things that were part of the process, not just stems. All the links will be below, and feel free to just go click on things and check stuff out. And big thanks for all the folks that did submit, and thanks for all the people that are helping support me in doing this work. With that said, let's kick this off. And I just want to start playing. The Uncarved Block 6 was a little bit different. I did it initially and had maybe 45 or 50 seconds. I kind of dug it, but wanted to go do a review of it and kind of worked on it as a second stream. So I think it started as like a half an hour. I think I put in about an hour into this, but let's just kick this off as the initial one, just so you can kind of hear, and I will talk through what I was thinking as best I can. If I can also get SoundCloud to rewind here, we'll get it. So a couple things that come to mind. And this is why I kind of went and redid it. Like, it was like a very microscopic kind of piece. And honestly, I think when I was doing it on the stream, I had a lot more different components kind of all playing at the same time. So I feel like I cut a little bit too deep or cut out a little bit too much. It takes a really long time to get into where I would say is like around this part before it gets kind of like almost it's like all playing together, and then it's immediately done. So I think this probably could have taken more time to bake to get it a little bit more interesting. This was also a track, if I remember correctly, where I had published just I've been getting like a couple different people ask. Some people are asking for, hey, can you give me like a instrumental and a drum track? And then some other folks are just like, hey, can I get some stems because I want to do some other stuff with it. So I think I ended up providing both of them, but yeah, I feel like this needed like a little bit more. Definitely felt like I could use some more time, which is why I went back to it. So I just want to go back as a refresher and let's check out what the heck I did here by adding like an extra 40 seconds. So I almost doubled the time of this track. So far, very similar. I gotta tell you, I kind of like the those false drops. That's a thing that I like to do from time to time. So yeah, like a few things. I'm just gonna pause it. We don't need to like let it play all the way out. A, um, this false drop here, which I want to play, I'll play through again. So like it is like I don't know. I find it like especially when you're like working with loops. So like a lot of this is just taking patterns or loops and kind of reformulating them. It is not a necessarily bad idea to like use that as a way to structure a song. And then when you come back and like revisit it, like um, this is probably a part where I could have spent more time um, taking and finding like little gaps to refill to fill back in. So like that roll that leads go back into or helps signify for the listener like, hey, there's actually like more stuff coming here. Like I don't know, I kind of like those uncomfortable drops from time to time, and then kind of just pull it back in. So um, this particular track, I like. I like that there's more time spent on that section that I actually liked a lot. So it helps kind of with that payoff. A few things though I probably should have done would be to go through and add like a little bit more effects. Like I think the strings could have used some reverb. Like as I'm hearing it, they kind of fall off very quick, and they're having like a bit more reverb or something in there to help kind of carry the sound probably would have helped. But yeah, I think like for like the amount of time I spent on it, I'm pretty happy with it. I still like it's easy for me to take like even my own stuff and just be like, I should go back and work on this, and I probably won't. But a couple things I'm hoping for to hear out of some of this stuff is, I don't know, I'm like a big fan of like just using bells and strings, and I mean, I don't know, I'm a fan of plenty of instruments, but I'm really interested to see what people do with some of the strings and bell sounds here. Um, the drum kit in the beginning here. We come back to the beginning. Like I feel like this was like a little weak. Yeah, like the snare just sounds too low in this section. It probably needed to be boosted up, and it's probably fine in the rest of the track. So I don't know, like just like some mistakes that I made, or just like things that I just didn't take the time to go back and do because I only spent about an hour on this track. So I don't know, you kind of get what you get. But let's go check out what we have from folks here. So first up, we've got Eyewitness from, man, I gotta learn how to read through here. We got null. All right, let's check this out and see what we got for Eyewitness. Or SoundCloud's going to be caching and buffering here. Let's try and reload. Boy. Well, here we go. One more try. first up, like I was concerned with the intro. I really dug it, but I was like, oh, where's this going? So I just want to go back here and re-listen, and I'll kind of chat through and talk over it. So, ton of probably delay and reverb going on here, but I love that filter sweep. Like it just like helps like be like, okay, I started with the where is this going, and I think it absolutely pays off. And I just love that lead in for the drum pattern. Really well programmed. Sounds cool. I also grew up in the '80s and really dig that like 8-bit or like 12-bit ish sound where it's like really grungy, edgy, and I probably would have, if it was me, just put a little bit of a low pass filter on it just to tame it a little bit, but because it really cuts through the mix. And I'd say it's a good way. I dig the sound of it, but I might have just said like for myself, I probably would have cut that down a little. Especially because I feel like it's maybe the way I'll put it is it's really it is very much cutting through the mix, and for me at least, usually what I try and do is make sure any like the lower level stuff, the lower frequency content is louder, so you give more dB headroom space for your lower frequency content. I just feel like it has a lot of that sound it's very loud for very high frequency content. So like just kind of pulling it down a little bit, I think would even give you more headroom to make some more space for some like making sure that the bass and like kick and maybe like the snare and stuff has room to breathe, if that makes sense. Still, I dig the sound though. I really like the this guitar sound too. Like, it just sounds like a really like cool, punky kind of electronic band. There's like so much energy here. Like perfect drop. Like I gotta say, like I just love that drop. And when I heard this the first time, I was like, I actually like this part first. I might have swapped the sections. I might have like gone into this part first. That's really just like what you like for arrangement. But I don't know. I usually try and go like build up energy. So like you start with like your filter sweep coming in. Like that just like has like a much more of a funky kind of sound to it. It's more playful and fun. In fact, like it might even just be like a section where you kind of have a different track completely. I think you could build a lot off of the first half into the drop. And I think there's like some other stuff you can do here. I totally love mixing and matching them, but I don't know. The part I want to hear more expansion on myself is this back half. So anyway, Null, thank you for the contribution. Totally dig this, and I don't know. I hope I hope to hear more of what you're doing with this or like other stuff. So thank you for the submission. Let's go see what we got up next here. We've got Mech Music. I think it's Mech Music Producer. Actually, I need to give you guys a follow as I'm coming through here. Let's see. We'll go follow. Here we go. Mech Music Productions. So let's check out what we got from Mech Music Productions here. First note I'll give you is don't be afraid to cut off your tails here. Um, I think a couple thoughts. I just want to go back here. This is just my opinions, so you can take it or leave it. I feel like that clap is the wrong sound, and like that's maybe not very helpful information. But I feel like the clap. I probably would have gone with a different sound. Um, I'm not sure what it is about the clap, but I will just say it's not my favorite clap, or at least doesn't work with the bell. You might be able to pitch it up or down just to help tune it a little bit with the track, but it just has like there's like a weird kind of to me, it just has like almost like kind of a weird thing. It doesn't sound like it's in the same space. Adding reverb might help, like or add some like maybe put both the bell and the clap through like the same effect chain or something. It might help glue it together, but it's like to me, I'm just not picking up on it as being like an immediate like, oh, this like sounds cool together. And it you might also be able to just change the rhythm. It might be too loud. I don't know. I feel like I'm not giving you very good advice on it to begin with, other than it's not a selection I probably would have made. And I'm not saying I don't like claps, but there's just something there that I feel like could be explored a little bit. I like the taking the loop here of that like synth. Actually, did I say bell? I don't know. It's probably the synth sound. Um, the synth sound here, adjusting the speed of it. I'd probably be looking for a few more variations, though. I feel like already at I just listened to the track, but even like already at like 14 seconds, it's like okay, like I'm wondering when something's going to happen to that, and you because you kind of put it in as a lead. So like maybe like a chop it up and reorder it beyond just kind of having it play faster might be something to try. And I think I have it for the claps. What the thing that I personally don't care for is they're just not changing. Like one of the things I would do on like the Dirty Wave M8 or like even on like the MPC or something is I think you have like a lot of room to play with the velocity would be one thing. So like just vary, even if it's only like 5 or 10%, just vary it a little bit so that it's not playing or sounding like in my ear the exact same sound all the time. You could even get away with like throwing it through if you got an SP404 Mark II, or if you have like Flavor or Flavor Pro on the MPC or something, like throw it through like a cassette or VHS or tape sound. It will give it like some very subtle variance of having like wild flutter or something, where it won't sound like it's as like harshly the same sound over and over again. Another thing I like to do is just like subtly use like fine tune pitching. If you have a tool that you can do that to just like pitch it up and down a little bit, it will have a dramatic, like psychological, psychoacoustic kind of impact where your brain's not like I'm hearing the exact same sound. It just makes it sound unnatural. So just like something to try out. I feel like there's like a lot of kind of what I'm hearing. It could just use like like some subtle variation or something. I can say that about plenty of stuff I make too, so don't worry. Not just you, I do it as well, especially when like I don't spend much time on it. I think at this point, like this is an area where, and for me, I can tend to be a little bit too like on the grid, or like I also think about like how are like the rhythms interconnected. I kind of feel like here at about a minute, where you're kind of bringing in more elements. Uh, it's hard to like. They also there's a couple. It sounds like there's two different rhythmic or rhythms going on, I would consider um, trying to like figure out how you. I'm going to say this, like a lot of people are going to be like, "What the heck are you talking about?" But I feel like they're not all supporting each other rhythmically. I think there's like a little bit of a competition, like rhythmically. And happy to talk with you like on Discord or something if you're like, what the heck did you mean by that? I can see if I can like try and figure it out, or maybe there's like a in 5 video I can do to talk about this. And I would even say like I feel like, and like again, like these things are just like you just when you do a lot of tracks, you kind of start like thinking things a certain way, which is not always the right way to do it. I'm old and have my opinions on things that don't necessarily like match with some of the modern music, but I think that I should do a video on this. There, I personally, when I'm trying to go through a track, I'm thinking about kind of 3 different factors, which is like if you were to envision a stage where you have musicians on it, you have musicians, you can pan them left to right. Um, you can get a lot of just you can do a lot of fun things by just like thinking that way, where you're like, okay, the drums are kind of a little bit more this way, and just pan like to the side, one side a little bit, pan some other stuff to the other side. Um, there's kind of like this. Picture. There's like pictures people have drawn of this tons of times, like trying to explain it. But when you kind of go like up or down, um, this is where you're kind of thinking. S- i- it's a little bit of a metaphor, but this is kind of thinking like what not the band on the stage, but like what frequency band are you putting content in? Because I feel like there's like some good separation that could happen here if you were just like, okay, the I'm going to filter the like the bass or lower end parts of the instrument kit to have be much more narrow instead of just like letting them have whatever the full frequency or spectrum range is. Just kind of be like, just scoop it out with like a EQ or something, where you just, or like a high pass, low pass filter, and then you can start giving a little bit more separation. Because like the what I'm kind of hearing is like it just feels like things are competing in the frequency range. They're also competing in the stereo range, and then like if you do kind of separate things, just practice like one thing at a time for sure. But like if you practice this, the other thing is like if you're going like front to back from the stage, um, usually what you'll do is like something that you want to be very far forward, like usually vocals or something. This isn't always true, but like if you want something to be more forward, like you want vocals, you wouldn't put any reverb on them. But the more back you want something to be, the more reverb you put on it, so that it sounds like it's kind of further away, getting like a little bit more echoey and having the room. So I would say like 3 things just to like kind of think about here is, even if you just like took a pass on your current track, consider a little bit of panning. I think a little bit of panning here would go a long way. I think a little bit of EQ filtering, where you're being a little bit more prescriptive about what each element has and like what frequency space it is being like either boosted or reduced for having used there. And I think having like just thinking like reverb, how far forward or how far backward do I want? And like you can get very complicated, and you can have these things move, change position and things as you're playing your song, which can help absolutely make things more dynamic. But there's just like some thoughts that are coming to mind as I'm listening to this. So yeah, Mech Music Productions, thank you for the submission. I really dig it, and like I hope that what just I rat holed on and was rambling on was helpful for you and for some other folks to like, if it's helpful. Um, yeah, I totally want to see like where you keep going with things. So please, absolutely keep submitting stuff. Um, let's see, we got Bug Out next with Count Glockula. So with a name like that, I can only imagine what the heck we're gonna get. Um, he already gave me a hint that it's going to be interesting. So we get the lo-fi vibe out of the gate here. There we go. All right, man. You put a smile on my face because of how I just want to say I think you've been listening to too much or watching too much Sesame Street. It would have been this would have hit hard with some count. I forget the name of the count. What's the count's name? Anyway, I'm going to sit here and be like, I am old because I can't remember. I don't know. I dig it. I think it's got like that sound where anybody will listening to this will be like, "Oh, I could make that," and yet they wouldn't. I like the it's got some nice bounce to it. I think it's a good use of effects here to kind of keep things moving. I really have to say, I want to hear more of where's the string. I mean, like the synth sounds like it's fun. Yeah, here. Like I wanted to hear your like crazy theremin sounding thing. I'm curious what the heck if you used a synth to do that or did you use the samples because that's kind of fun. I want to hear that at least one more time in this track. I think the tape stop didn't land quite right to me, but like whatever. I would have, I think here, as you're going to the end, I probably would have personally taken the filter out. I guess once you like, or kept going with it, like once you started with it, I probably would have like just gone like ridden it the way on the track out because it feels a little weird to like cut and then you're like back into the bass, or maybe you just need to drop the bass. I don't know. I dig it. What other? There's a few other things I had like a few thoughts on. Man, like I want. There's something I'm missing here in my mind. Like I don't know what it is. I feel like you just need like one more thing, and then you have your like little riff here, like that. You have like so many good. What I would say is like there's a lot of good pieces that like I think you've treated as a throwaway that I'm like I want more of that in this track, which I don't know. I dig it. So yeah, overall, I'm I'm into this. As far as a few things, yeah, I would probably, as I said, I would think about like the exit here. If you're doing like a beat tape style thing where you're just gonna like roll into the next track, I think you're making it tougher on yourself by not pulling out the bass and then like whatever you're gonna jam in next for the next track. If you were to, if you're thinking that way, like, which is also why this is probably a great intro. I don't know that this is my challenge for you, Bug Out. I think you should take a few of your tracks and think about how you would string like 3 or 4 tracks together into like a beat tape. Some of them I mean, you can just do like drop transitions and like have a pregnant pause or something, and kind of like ramp into the next one. I think it'd be more interesting to see what you would do if you took like some of these micro, like 1 to 2 minute tracks and figured out like how do I switch into the bass or change out some drums and stuff. Because I think like you have like if you were just like, okay, I want the bass to be hitting a lot, like make sure I have the bass hitting in the beginning, and then we exit without the bass. As an example, you could conceivably use that as a method for kind of mixing, matching things. So I don't know. Think about it. I'd love to see what you'd throw together for like a 4 or 5 minute like beat tape with some of like these different tracks you put together from wherever you're sourcing the tracks from. But yeah, thanks for the submission. Hopefully you give it a try, and I know you said you're into the next one, so hopefully we'll keep seeing you post some stuff. Um, we did get a submission for the Uncarved Block 3, so I have not heard this in quite a while, so I want to check this out first, again, to re-listen to what it is or was, and then we'll go see what the track submission was, and go on that one. Ah, yeah. What the heck did I make this on? There's a weird sound there. Hold on. It's like a weird filter close. I'm not into the bass. It's fine, but so far I'm like, eh. I don't know. I think I went a little overly cheesy on this. The Vox is like, the choir. I think I could have done without the choir. Maybe it needs a different instrument. Do you like the guitars though? I gotta go back and figure out what project I used. I could use those again. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm trying. As I said, I'm trying to do these things kind of quick. So this was also it was like 2 months ago. So must have been when I was like, I gotta get back to get putting these things together. I guess must not have been I think there's a couple people that said they were gonna make some tracks, it just didn't happen, and I need to get back into doing this more consistently, so people will be like, "Oh, this is gonna happen." Anyway, I'm definitely interested to see what Slurfpoint did here. Looks like got a picture of an M8, so uncarved noodle. Um, well, we're gonna see what we've got here. Slurfpoint. I'll give you a follow back. Do do do. I'm gonna pause it here for a second, only because I was had a up for have people do just 2 minutes. We will listen to the back half, but couple thoughts. There's a I think I feel like I want a little. I'm like this is like you don't have to do this. Like this is just like my gut feeling is it's not quite. Um, it's missing a little bit of confidence, maybe is the way I would put it. Or maybe a little bit more intentionality. I feel like you could probably be you don't have to be like bombastic and like wow, like yelling into a microphone or anything. Um, but if I like go back to, I'm just gonna rewind. Like it feels like really subdued. Which if that's what you're going for, 100%, like you nailed it. Um, I, I and I know like people like I come from like a different, probably a different style of music or how I think about it. So like I feel like the hats they could just use a little bit more. They just feel very low energy. And part of this is just like mixing. Like I think I would have mixed the kicks up higher and then the other stuff lower. So like you'd be more rhythm led. If that's not what you're going for, like totally cool. Um, but I think by and large, like the chops you've got, I'm hearing some pitch shifting going on. So I, some of the stuff I'm not sure if that's like strings or choir, where you've pitched it lower. Trying to like just listen. I feel like you could have, if you were interested, you could have experimented a little bit more. I think you could have pushed some of this stuff a little bit harder to give it like a little bit more of a harder sound. And I'll go. I think like this is another one where I think a little bit more change on the sounds probably would have got you a lot of leverage. So if you did do this on the M8, which I think you did, yeah, so it's created on an M8. I would go like mess around with some tables and just like randomly bounce around to like change velocities a little bit. Or like just randomly drop in like a delay or intentionally like you have like a lot of, because this is so like I'll do this myself sometimes. Like I'll just like be like, I'm not putting a whole bunch of elements in here, but it gives you so much room. Like you could have added like a very big reverb if you wanted to, and I think like helped fill out the space. You could like delay like the hats, like you go put in like the right delay. You get some of your ratchets like what you just had in there, and they'll just sound like they're going. And like you were doing some sound design stuff there on the back end, like even like throughout it. So I think like there's like definitely where you're like kind of tweaking stuff. I want to like hear more tweaking in this track. Like you could still go paired back and just make it so that the sounds are kind of evolving and going like different ways that are unexpected. And it doesn't again, it doesn't be like loud and bombastic. I think like just having something where it's like that's a surprise because oh, it went through a delay or it's varying in velocity. So you get like ghost notes or like changing up the rhythm just even like just a little bit on some of those points. If you haven't done much of that, again, like I'd also say like hit me up on Discord. I'm happy to kind of talk with you through some of that stuff or any of that if you're interested. But yeah, thank you for the submission. I totally dig the take, and I am glad that you didn't lean into some of the things that I'm like, that was way too cheesy on what I just played, because then I would have been like, oh, well, now it sounds cool. But thank you for the submission. Happy to chat with you. And last but not least, we've got what I've put together for the Uncarved Block 7. This is the track, so I just want to play it, and then we'll bounce out of here. So I can hear plenty of mistakes from this track that I just put up. A few things. One, there's I could hear it when I was doing the fourth video for the live stream, and the snares were driving me nuts. I don't. There's like either like some compression or limiter or something in there that you can hear the snares like in this section somewhere coming in and out, and I was just like, whatever. I don't. I tried looking into it and just couldn't find the time to fix it. And even like I spent like maybe 30 minutes after the last session, just kind of like I'm like I want to try and fix this, but it was driving me nuts. So yeah, like I don't know. I don't do everything perfect, and a lot of this stuff is just making the decision of, hey, I got something done. People can check out. I put out in the universe, and can't make everything perfect all the time. So, um, yeah, I think, and for anybody that's curious, I mean, really what this track was, I usually don't work in 16 bars, but I created two 16 bar patterns. Basically, I created like this. The initial pattern was 16 bars. That's like the two middle sections that are repeated. And then I ended up making like this. I was like, I just want to slow it down, make it sound slower, but have the same sound. So I basically um, pitched a lot of the notes down an octave just to keep everything in tune with each other. So I didn't have to like go do much there. Um, and after pitching it down, I kind of went through. I was like, I'm gonna play the drums and stuff a bit slower, so it has different energy. So basically, it's like slow, then the two faster sections, and then slow. So it's 64 bars long. And from there, if you guys didn't catch the live stream, I basically just went through and just like carved out all the parts and deleted stuff, and then went through the process of adding like some extra notes in just to kind of like keep it changing a little bit. For me, I really try and change up the sound every 2 to 4 bars. 4 bars, like at least every 4 bars, so you're not hearing like the same thing over and over, is something that I think is important. And you can change it up in a multiple amount of ways. Like you can actually do like note changes where you're playing like a different every 4 bars. You're kind of switching into like a different portion, whether you're pitching things up or down, or rhythm changes can be a lot harder to do because it's hard to signal those. And it just takes some practice to be like, hey, like listener, or like if you're dancing or moving, you're gonna be moving differently. So like that takes a little bit of more care and feeding to do and like practice. So I don't usually do those because they can be, I will change it up, but still make sure I typically have more of a core rhythm to it myself. There's a few other things here that like kind of drive me nuts. Like I didn't use this loud booming drum that I recorded initially, and I just added to the beginning. I'm like, I don't know. For me, it's like it's a little much. If somebody wants to do something with it, it's kind of like a 909, like blown out. Go nuts. The uh, the bass pattern I feel like is reused a little too much and could have used a change up through here. I don't know. Better luck next time for me. If I get more time, I'd probably have done that. I think like this one's probably. I mean, this is the one that I probably spent the most time working on. So I think this is hopeful the one I'm most excited to see what folks do with this. So, yeah, everybody, thanks for stopping by.